This episode is brought to you today by Whitehall Mortgage, where there's a will, there's a Whitehall. Buying a home starts by getting a pre-approval, and nobody does it better than Doug in Dallas. Call them today at 570-562-7505 or apply online at whitehallmortgagefinancial.com. Hey everybody, I'm Dave Wychak. I'm the host of the Real Estate Right Now podcast, and I have an episode today that is, I think, really great for the vast majority of the real estate markets across the country. Probably definitely so here in my small town in northeastern Pennsylvania, and probably pretty true for most small towns. I talk about this a lot because it's the question I get a lot. People say, hey, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? When does it become what? And when does it switch? Those are fuzzy lines at best. But right now, what I'm telling people is this is not a seller's market. It's also not a buyer's market. This market is nobody's market. Right now, I think the number one way that I could describe the real estate market in my area and in most places across the country, and I can say this is probably factual for most places because we're on track as a country. Fewer houses will be sold in 2025 than 1995. And there's a lot more people here. Right now, the market is stuck. We're not in a buyer's market. We're not in a seller's market. We are literally in nobody's market. This is a stuck real estate market. So first of all, what is that, right? What does it mean? What is a stuck real estate market? Well, there's a couple traits to it. One, low inventory. All right, very low inventory. What we're finding is that homeowners are staying in their houses. There's a lot of homeowners out there that I think like their interest rate more than their home. They don't dislike their home enough to move or to put it on the market or to sell it. So there's very low inventory as a result of that. Another element of a stuck real estate market is buyer paralysis. There's so many buyers that have exited the market altogether, or they are simply so afraid to make a decision because they think the market, like I've been hearing now for 3 years, hey, when's this market going to crash? I don't know, maybe never. I don't know. So it's like, but you can't wait forever. I tell people this. I want you to think about this, right? People will say, Dave, I don't want to buy a house, right? Because I don't want to make the wrong decision or whatever else. And then those people are renting. And what you have to understand is that if you don't make the decision to buy a house, your landlord did. What you're doing is you're paying his mortgage instead of yours. So, the buyer paralysis thing is real. There's, without a doubt, an affordability crunch right now. It is a really bizarre time in a lot of areas in that buyer activity is lower than it's been at any point in the last 2 to 3 years. And a lot of people are still very hesitant to reduce the price of their home. So there is an affordability crunch. There's fewer transactions than ever. We talked about that, right? 2025 is, by the time it's done, it could very well be the lowest number of houses sold across the country in the last 3 decades. So there's not a lot of transactions going on. And I think at the end of the day, the best way that I could say, or the number one trait of a stuck real estate market, is that there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of fear out there. Not just with buyers, not just with sellers, with both sides. Buyers are facing uncertainty and fear. Sellers are facing uncertainty and fear. And as a result, you end up with a stuck real estate market. So with that being said, what can realtors do to unstick their market? All right. What can they do? What can realtors do to win when the real estate market is stuck? Well, there's a couple things. First and foremost, with your content right now, I think it's more important than ever to educate with data. Don't just say stuff unless you can back it up. Try to inform your buyers on things that they can do to position their offers in a way that'll be competitive. Try to tell your sellers, look, you might have to make concessions. You might have to do a price drop. You may have to be negotiable on some closing cost assistance, things like that. The biggest thing, honestly, that I think people can do, or realtors can do, focus on life events, not interest rates. Because at the end of the day, people move for a lot of different reasons. They move because they're starting a family. They move for jobs. They move because they are retired. They get divorced. There's a list of reasons why people move. All right? So how do you get in front of groups of people that are most likely to move in your neighborhood? And if you can answer that question, that's where you need to focus your advertising. I think it's really important right now to work with lenders, for realtors to work with lenders who can show creative financing options right now. There's a lot of lenders out there that are offering buy downs or ARMs or down payment assistance, whatever there may be. Work with people who are a little bit more creative in the financing department. And I think what you're going to find is you'll still have some success out there. I say this all the time. The number one source of new business for realtors is clients that they've already sold houses to or for. Reconnect with your sphere. So many people spend tons of money on purchasing leads or paying post-closing referrals. And the truth of the matter is, it might be better off to call a few of your clients that have bought and sold with you in the past and take them out for a coffee or a lunch and say, hey, how are you doing? Is everything good? Do you know anybody else that I could help? If you've done a great job for someone, that's probably a great source of future business for you. Start reconnecting with your sphere. And right now, even though I'm saying this market is stuck, do what you can to get more listings. I mean, that's still the golden rule of real estate. We hear people say it all the time. You have to list to last and things like that. I love working with buyers. Most of my agents do. But at the end of the day, if you really want to have an impact on the market, you have to be able to generate listings. You have to be able to make the calls, get in front of people, and provide. Look, here's the thing. Not only get the listings, all right, but then educate those sellers on what they need to do to sell. Take great photos, take great video, get them right, or get the price right the first time. And if you can do that, it doesn't matter that this market is stuck as a realtor. You'll still find success, because the truth of the matter is, great realtors figure out a way in any market. There's some realtors out there right now, even though I said there's going to be fewer homes sold in 2025, maybe than at any year in the past 30 years. There's some realtors out there who are having and are about to have the best year of their career. And if you do the right things, you can have the best year of your career as well. That's all for today. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychock at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.